We get together. Thank you.
Yes, thank you for letting us know.
So this is a production mastermind. Hi guys, Real Estate Toolbox. We get together. I want to share some ideas today with you guys. I want to talk about telephone prospecting a little bit, but I do want to go around and get some ideas from all of you guys. What good things are happening? What issues are you running into? What can we help you with? What have you learned this week that you think that the group could benefit from? Or should I get Brian to start?
I could share what I learned this week.
Yeah, why don't you get up and address the group?
Very proper.
Yes.
Here I am addressing the group. Good morning, everybody. How we doing?
You're doing great.
Somebody give me something. I could do a little dance. I get everybody happy. How you guys?
Let's go.
Good morning.
Good
Let's go,
morning.
Brian. Good morning.
Good morning.
I'm driving, so I can't.
No, all good. Be careful on the road, okay?
Yes. Okay.
All right. I live that life, trust me, so I get it. I Zoom all day from the car. We had a veteran buyer come to us to get a loan, and we were able to get his loan approved with a 62 back-end debt-to-income ratio.
Yeah.
Which is, extremely high. So that was great news to reach back out to the veteran. Thank him for obviously his service. His wife was a veteran as well, so him and her. Let them know, and we were able to stretch that debt-to-income ratio and get them the house of their dreams out in Virginia. So it worked out perfectly. That's just something I wanted to share. Great news for anyone working with buyers today. Sony May rates are at 5.875. 5.875, guys. That's tremendous. Anybody you're working with that's on the outside looking in because they're scared of the payment, or maybe that their budget doesn't allow them to go up that extra 25, 30, 40,000 to go maybe to a different neighborhood because you're priced out of the neighborhood that they wanted to be in, and you need to stretch it and go up a little in budget. That lower interest rate is going to help offset that monthly payment. So any buyer that you might be dealing with, please share their contact with myself and Juan. Let us sit down with them, let us Zoom with them, let us call with them, let us hold their hand and get them the best mortgage humanly possible. That's again 5.875, 120-day lock, no points being charged. So not only are they going to have the lowest interest rate on the streets, they're going to have the lowest closing costs on the streets. Who's going to be the superhero in that situation?
I
Oh.
like Anthony always says, I
Yeah,
will do.
you guys, because you introduced them to us.
Sure.
So when their family members thinking of purchasing, who are they going to reach back out to? Not even a question, Juan. They're calling you again. Because you hooked them up on the first time, right? So it's all about service today. I've been saying it for over a year at this point. Let us help you. Let us know what we could do to help you grow your business. And guys, it's not brain surgery here. We help you grow your business. What happens? In turn, we get more business. 100%. Let us help you. 24/7. You don't believe me? Call me on Saturday night. I'm picking up the phone. Call me Sunday morning. I'm picking up the phone. Whatever's needed, we're here. Thank you for your time, guys. Always. I'm glad to see your faces. Guys who made it in. I'm glad we dodged a couple of snow situations, but we're here. Thank you, guys. Have a great day.
Awesome. Anything else happened this week? That was good.
Chiefs won the Super Bowl.
I lost money in the I bet the Niners.
You should have called me first.
It was close. It was a good game though. It was a great game actually. Went overtime, That was amazing. Yeah, I want to share one day before yesterday, I got my logo, Juan el de las Casas, finally. I don't know if you saw it in my social media. I'm so excited about that. I've been waiting for that. You know, the team is growing and we're doing great. We're having some success. We figured out this thing, you know, the real estate industry, the EXP concept, their model, how it works, and the technology, all the good stuff, the mentorship program. So I'm putting all the little pieces together. So it's happening for me, guys. If it's happening for me, I'm sure it's happening for Benson. That's for sure. It can happen for all of us, you know, here in this call. And I'm so happy to share. You know, we have a few deals on contract. We're gonna be closing 2 deals next week. Some of my mentees that got accepted offers, inspections done. We keep adding more people to the team. I saw this morning another partner just got into full on board. Jerry's wife, Patricia's doing amazing. That's how that team is growing so fast. You know, just came in and she just put 2 people under her. You know, that's great. And you know, we're doing a lot of great things here in the island with the team, with my partners. Um, and I'll be coming to the office, Benson, a little later. I gotta give you that check that got lost in the mail. I have it already with me, so
Thank
I
you,
really
appreciate
good.
it.
No problem.
I know, speaking on adding, you know, people into the group, in the last 30 days, we added, 21 agents into
Oh,
our
that's awesome.
organization.
That's
So
awesome.
that's pretty cool. That's thanks to you guys. And we have more on the way. I know that Angelica on the call has somebody coming into the referral division. That should be actually 23 agents in the last 30 days, guys, partnered with us. Okay, so congrats on that, Angelica. Congrats. You have somebody that is about to sign in and has a huge network that I'm very excited about. Melody has somebody that is just finishing his application, Adam, and he also owns a title company and has access to a ton of off-market properties, guys.
That's great for everybody.
Okay, so that's gonna be great for us. What we need to do is organize those things and put them out to everybody. You know, that's another level of value that we could add. So as we get these guys, we're happy to you know, share it with each other, because the opportunity for us is all opportunity for you guys as well. All right, Angelica, it was a pleasure. So Angelica, you know, had somebody that was interested. We got on a Zoom call and we made it happen. It was fairly good. She had some follow-up questions that we got via email, and that all worked out well. Okay, anything else good this week? Lily's training Tuesday was awesome.
Benson, why don't we let Angelica share that great news?
Yeah, please. Are you at a place where you can speak, Angelica? I know she's typing into the chat.
Sorry, yes, I was a little. But yeah, thank you, Vincent, for your support always. And I'm really happy to bring this partner because she has a lot of connections, agents, and really helped me. Maybe we're gonna start growing for that side. It was unexpected, but I mean, I have known her for a long time. Are you having a good, is it good, the sound?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, so yeah, she's a loan officer, so she also had a license as an agent. So I told her probably a year ago or something like that. And maybe I didn't go into many details, but also I didn't want to feel like too much like pushy to her and all that. So she said, no, I'm happy with my license part, another company, but I think she heard from somebody else how good is the EXP, so she couldn't believe it. And then she asked me, is that true? I said yes, and then I went into detail and everything else. So she was more excited, and she said, I need to know more about it. So we scheduled the appointment with Vincent, and I think it went great.
Awesome. So here's what Angelica did right there. Okay, she was the first one to plant the seed. She was the first one to speak to this person about EXP a year ago. And then what happened is the person heard from somebody else in EXP and verified the information with Angelica. And Angelica closed her to an appointment to somebody else. You see what happened? She didn't end up selling. So it wasn't Angelica selling EXP to this person. What she did was she invited and introduced to me. And then I was able to do that. And if it was necessary, I would have introduced her to somebody else. Okay, so that you're not really selling, you're just introducing. You're just passing it on. Okay? So that was awesome. Let's see, what else? I learned something from Melody, or was reminded of something from Melody this week. Thank you, Melody, for reintroducing this concept and reminding it to me. When you guys have counter offers and you need to present those back to your buyers, right? The best way to do it is go out there and do it through the perspective of how much more in down payment and how much more in monthly cost. Right? So that counter offer, all it was an increase in down payment of this much and an increase in monthly cost of this much. And that number was very small. So instead of like hey, tens of thousands of dollars, it's only a simple, hey, the house is yours. All you have to do is hit this down payment, hit this monthly expense, and it's all yours. Okay? You want to break it down even further? Break down the monthly expense to a week. Break down the monthly expense to a day. Right? And all of a sudden it costs less than a cup of coffee at Starbucks. Right? So that's easy enough, isn't it? Anybody else have anything?
I had one situation this morning, actually, Vincent, just like the one you said. We had a counter offer. My buyer, he wanted to put 50,000 more, but it's matching the asking price.
Okay.
So I told him, listen, asking price, this house, because they say they have a few offers already, and they might have the asking price. So I told him that the difference will be the little extra, the $10,000 more, that which is literally, like you said, one cup of coffee, and that might win the offer. So he said, thank you, Juan. Let's go for 760, and done. I'm writing the offer now. So let's see what happens.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful. All right. So just remember that when dealing with these guys, you don't have to scare them with the big number. Break it down to the little number and get them to act on that. A little bit easier, isn't it?
Yes.
Awesome. So I'll tell you what I wanted to talk about today. Today I wanted to talk about being fabulous on the phone. Who wants to be fabulous on the phone? Who's already amazing on the phone?
I want to be fabulous on the phone.
You already are, Melody. Let's be more fabulous on it. Okay?
Teach me how to do that.
Okay, awesome. So first I want you to understand the difference between being on the phone and being in person. Right? A lot of times you're going to spend more time on the phone prospecting than in person in real estate. Am I right? Maybe. But here's what they did a study and they determined how you are received when you're communicating in person. So when you're in person, the words you use account for 7% of your communication. So 7% is what you say. Your tone, your inflection, your volume, and your rate of speech account for 38% of your communication, and your body language is another 55%. But when you're on the phone, the ratios change a little bit. the words you use count for more. Okay? The words you use over the phone, they bump up to 15%. And then the tone, the inflection, the volume, your rate of speech, that accounts for 86% of your communication when you're on the phone. So think about that. So if you improve your tone, inflection, volume, and rate of speech, you change the way you communicate on the phone. So, you know, in most cases, in both of those situations, the words only, they're not as important as your nonverbal cues. So even though that's the case, most of the salespeople are focused on the words that they use on the phone instead of how their voices come across. So if we want to improve our ratio of calls made to leads converted, then we need to work on our phone skills, right? So some of us have to make 100 calls, 100 phone calls before we can make that one sale. Whereas others could do 25 and they're good. Because they have better phone skills, right? And have more efficient outcomes. So we're going to talk about what we could do to improve this. First thing we could do is improve our energy. So if only 15% of our communication on the phone is our words, we have to improve our energy when you're communicating, right? How do we do that? Over the phone. Any ideas? Go for it.
We can smile, even they don't see you, but when you smile, your tone changes and they can feel it, they can hear it. So.
That's a very good one. You guys got that? Can you hear when somebody's happy over the phone? Can you feel
Yes,
the energy when somebody's over the phone?
Of course, yes. Yes.
I think another one is just you gotta be excited. You know, people feel that. You know, they feel when you're excited. I can feel you, Benson. You're excited right now. You know.
Yeah, like stuff like that is important, right? So there's a trainer out there. I don't know which one who originated this, but one of the things that they said was to have a mirror in front of you when you're making phone calls. Jennifer, show us that mirror that you have in front of you when you're making phone calls. I don't know if she's listening, but she has one of those phone holders with a mirror on it. So you can see. If you guys are sitting in front of a computer, just turn on the camera so you can see yourself. And smile.
That's a good one. Thank you. Yeah.
Anna?
Yes, I said that's a good one. Thank you.
Right.
It is. It is. Yeah.
So here's another one, raising your voice. Right? That shows energy. If you're going to call them with a low voice, low energy, it'll come across. So speaking louder is going to be a big part of it. The other thing is standing up. Standing up when you're making a phone call, having the headsets. Some of you guys talk with your hands, and if you have a headset like this, it limits you. It limits how you could communicate. So put the headset on so you could talk with your hands, so you can express, and that will come across over the phone.
And stand in front of the mirror.
While you're standing in front of the mirror. Stack all of these things together, right? Stand up with the headset in front of a mirror and raise your voice and vary your tone and speech. Don't stay monotone. All right? That's like, oh, I've been on the phone for 8 hours today, and you're just my next phone call. right? Have some excitement when you're talking to these people. So if you do these things, the prospect, you'll build rapport over the phone, even though they can't see you. Agreed?
Agreed.
It's like being an actor on in a Broadway show. You got to project. And remember, they teach this in a lot of the negotiating classes, right? Mirror and matching. Am I right? How do you mirror and match someone?
You do what you see them do.
Yes, we're over the phone, remember? They don't see you. So how can you mirror and match somebody on a phone call?
By the tone of the voice, right?
Yeah, you want to match their tone. You want to match their rate of speech. If somebody talks fast, talk fast. If somebody talks slow, slow it down. If somebody's super sweet on the phone and you hear it, you need to be sweet back. Right? But if you're dealing with the D personality, they're straight to the point, they're right, they're fast, and go do that too. Another good way to match and mirror is repeat the last 3 words that they said. It's like acknowledging, right? You ask them a question, they answer it, you repeat the last 3 words that they said. It's like acknowledging their answer, accepting their answer before you give them something back. So you guys all have keywords that you use when you're talking. And sometimes what we need to do is upgrade those keywords. Right? Because what we want to do is cause a reaction, cause a feeling from them, and create a little bit of a connection. So you're using your tone, your pace, your mirroring, all those things, all those nonverbal cues, but you're going to tie that with all of the verbal cues and, you know, and match it a little bit better. So what are some keywords that you guys use?
One key word, I think it's just call by their name, call their name all the time. Like, you know.
Wow, that is huge. I'm
Yes.
glad somebody brought that up. It's the favorite thing for somebody to hear. Is somebody calling their name. And if you repeat their name over and over and over, it's like music in your ears. And that's something you could do via text too, right? It's
Yes.
like acknowledging their identity. Agreed?
Agreed. Yep.
Melody does that very well. From the beginning, when I met you, Melody, I know that I noticed that about you, right? We do that very well, and it's a great way to connect. What else? What are some of the keywords or question softeners? When you have a question, sometimes it's nice to soften that question. I'll give you an example. I'm just curious, if you were to move, where would you move to? What was the question softener there?
I'm just curious.
That's it, right? You see what it does? Makes it a little bit easier to ask that question. May I ask? If you were to move, where would you move to? Any other ones? So it doesn't sound like an interrogation. If you listen to Gil Ramos, you'll hear him say that a lot. Hey, I'm just curious. And it'll hit you with a real hard question. And you'll answer it because he's just curious. Please tell me, when are you planning to move? How about humor? Who uses humor in their conversations? Who tries to get the other person on the line to laugh a little bit?
I always do that. That's in one of my things to do to break the ice.
I noticed that about you, Ryan.
I guess I'm doing a decent job at it.
He's
Or
got
maybe I think I'm funnier than I am.
What's the only language that Brian speaks?
Brooklynese, baby.
That's it, right? So when he's in front of the crowd, it's one of his lines, man. I've seen him do this for years, right? But it softens up the group. It lets him know that, hey, you can laugh with me. I'm safe.
May I jump in for a second, Vin?
Please do, please do.
Yeah. Nobody wants to deal with a robot or an order taker. They want to know that you're a normal human being just like them. You know, like there has to be some common ground. They have to know that you go through the same thing that they do, right? When you're that looking at your list of questions and you're just going question by question by question by question, and there's no, might not have to be humor, but just something. I'll go even old school and say, hey, isn't it great the sun's shining today? It's been free, like little things like that to just let them know that you're a normal person. I think that always breaks the ice and it makes somebody more comfortable to let their guard down, right? Everyone has their guard up because everyone always hears the horror story of dealing with you always hear the worst stories, never the good stories. On the banking side, on the attorney side, on the realtor side, on the title side, you know, everything that goes with our business hand in hand. You rarely hear the success stories. You'll always hear, it's just like a gambler. A gambler, you're only going to hear when they usually win, never when they lose, right? So you just have to just break that ice, however you have to do it. And each person is going to be different, you know? You might have to mirror the person that you're in front of, you know? You have to do your homework prior to your appointments. And with Facebook and Instagram and LinkedIn and all these different things, you could really do your homework well and be prepared of how you want to attack each conversation, because there's never going to be two conversations that are going to be the same at all. They shouldn't be, in my opinion.
But bring humor in every single one if you can, right? Just lighten the mood a little bit, doesn't it?
100%.
So have something, you know? Hope you got some flowers yesterday. You know what I said? Oh my gosh, I'm gonna leave that joke out. Anyway, let's talk about being influential over the phone. How do you do that? So there's this guy, his name is Robert Cialdini. He's written books on like neuroscience, and he outlined what's called 6 principles of influence. And these are buttons that salespeople can push to move their customers into action. So in every conversation, you're going to try to see if you could push these buttons. These 6 buttons are reciprocity, consistency, social proof, liking, authority, and scarcity. So this guy studied, the brain, and he's telling you that there's 6 triggers that could move somebody into action. Let's follow these 6 triggers and make sure we touch on them. I'm gonna talk a little bit about each of them. First one is reciprocation. What do I mean by reciprocation?
Does it have anything to do with mirroring someone?
Kind of.
Okay.
Letting them know that you're receiving what they are telling you.
That you're receiving what they're telling you. Okay. So it has to do with when somebody does something for you, you have an innate feeling to reciprocate that to them.
You feel obligated.
Yeah, it's like human nature, right? You do something for them, they'll do something for you. Right? You compliment them, they compliment you. Right? You give them a little gift, they have this innate nature to feel like they need to give something back to you. So reciprocity is a big part of it, and what you want to do is be on the side that you're giving first. Right? You give, and they'll feel the need to reciprocate one way or the other. They'll figure out how. If it's not them doing business with you, maybe they'll refer some business to you. That part makes sense?
Yeah, but that's.
The other part is consistency. So we all like to think that we're like super consistent in everything that we do. But is it actually true?
Not even close.
So if consistency is the foundation of influence and trust, you have to be intentional on how consistent you are showing up. Through the commitments you make, the little promises that you make. I always remember this because, Glenn Sanford, right? He had one of these calls with us, and the question was like, how do you? He's like, oh no, it wasn't even a question, it was a statement. He goes, sales is easy. All you have to do is make micro promises and deliver on them. That's it. You make micro promises and you deliver on your promises, and it shows that you're consistent in your word. So be on time with your meetings and your follow-up calls. That's a big part of it. How about social proof, guys? That's number 3. People like to be led. Most of them won't make decisions without input from other people. And social proof is a huge persuader. You could use that in your dialogue when you say like, others have said. Many people, most people, some people. When you do that, people feel like they're following the path of somebody else that has gone there the same way and has come through safely. Right? Also levels up your experience. It shows that other people love and respect you as well, even though you're the one that's saying it. Agree with that one? That one was number 3. Number 4 is liking. So one part of it is, you know, people like to do business with who they, what was it? Know, like, and trust, right? Like was number 2. And that's a big part of Dale Carnegie's book, right? How to Win Friends and Influence People. In that book, he gives a roadmap to being liked. His roadmap is remain positive, show genuine interest, listen more than we talk, connect with their motivations and goals, and then show interest in adding value to them. That's how we build liking. Number 5 is authority. Reciprocation, consistency, social proof, liking, and number 5 is authority. We've been trained all our life to respond to authority. We listen to experts in their field because they're the authority, because we trust their insight. To our leaders. So they need to feel confident in your authority so that they don't hesitate to trust you. So maybe you're pointing to your years in business, your production, your results, your team, your brokerage. Sometimes you have to draw contrast between you and your competition with inferior numbers. Right? Because they don't know that. They don't know that the average agent only sells, what, like 3 homes a year. You might know that, but they don't know that. So sometimes you have to draw attention to that you're the authority. Number 6 is scarcity. They say it's the most powerful of the 6. Everybody wants things that are rare and unavailable to them. Right? The one-day sale, the last in stock, last chance to get it. Off-market deals, right? Might not be 100% true, but we still go for it. those things helpful, guys? To know what pushes influence? You can apply this for everything, your sales, your recruiting, influencing anybody to action.
I just picked up 2 key things. Thank you.
What are the 2 key things?
That I'm doing things good, but not great. My consistency in my mind is good, but it definitely could be better. And I never really bring up, because I always thought it was more of maybe possibly showing off of the volume that Juan and I do personally and the team does compared to everyone else. I always thought it was more of maybe showing off, but I guess it's not. Or maybe it should be done in certain situations. Like recruiting, when we recruit, we always bring that up. But maybe I have to paint that picture for the real estate community as well, to let them know that, hey, we are working on this many transactions. We do close this many transactions. We are the best at what we do, and that's why we do close what we close in volume compared to the rest of, the rest of the players out there.
Think about it. One of the lines that I use a lot is, it's hard to talk about yourself sometimes for some people, right? I don't like to really, it's like a bragging thing, and sometimes you don't want to do that, right? But you need to find ways to drop things that you need them to know.
Makes sense.
Right? So sometimes you want to say, hey, listen, I've been doing this. Brian, how long have you been doing this?
March will be 16 years.
16 years. So check this out. In my 16 years of doing this, right? I've learned something. Okay? I've learned that anybody could get into the mortgage business. Doesn't take a lot, it takes a test. I also learned that not all loan officers are created equal. Right? All of a sudden, you let them know that there's a contrast. You didn't say where you filled in there, but what did you say? I've got 16 years of experience. So
Understood. Gotcha.
on that scale.
Understood. I got you.
Right? And
I like that a lot. Yep. I like that.
You have to drop the things that you want them to know. Like I mentioned, Gil Ramos, he's so good at it. So it's natural.
Yeah.
When he talks,
he's an OG. Yeah, he's an OG.
He's an OG.
Great. I love hearing him talk. Yep, he's good.
He always drops things that helps him connect with you, right? So he'll be talking about production, but he'll drop the fact that he has 6 kids.
Yeah.
Right? He'll just
I've heard of I've heard that quite a couple of times.
Right, and it's so natural. And then he drops it out there and it humanizes him. And then he could set things up to kind of position himself, but he's the one that's dropping that information, because if you're not dropping that information, how are they going to know that about you?
Correct. I love it.
Good stuff.
Yeah, definitely. Guys, have a great afternoon. I have to hop off, unfortunately. See you guys soon. Anything needed, let me know. My number's in the chat. We'd love to talk to you guys one-on-one. Love to figure out a way how we could all grow each other's business. Have a great day, guys.
Thank you, Brian.
All right. Take care, guys.
All right, guys. Anything I say today makes sense?
Great
Yes.
stuff, Jason. Great stuff. We're gonna use it, some of these things.
I stumbled on that training from a while back. And what I do is I take notes on a lot of the stuff, and then every once in a while I go back and I take a look at some of this stuff, and I'm like, wow, that was so good. And you just have to remind yourself, because there's so much coming at you all the time. Like, how do you know what to focus on? Right? And sometimes you're always looking for the new stuff, when all you need to do is apply some of the stuff that you already learned. Anything else you guys want to talk about? That's all my notes on this.
That was really good. Thank you.
Awesome. Everybody else good? Anything we can help you with?
I thank you. This is Angelica. I think it was a great training, and sometimes you can add some little things or big things from every training that we have. I mean, I think from this I learned that I want to start talking more like just walking or just in my living room, because sometimes I'm talking sitting, and like you say, I talk with hands and everything. So probably I'm losing some emotion there. They can be transferred to the clients. And also just, I mean, I probably a month ago or two, I got a assistant, the VA. So I think it really helps my business. It has been really big helpful. It's like a change in the business and the way you see it. I think even if I was not doing many transactions, it should have been done before, probably 4 years ago. So, I mean, if you think your business is growing, and sometimes you need that assistant to grow. So I know so many people that you guys have, maybe you don't, but sometimes helps that if you have somebody else helping in the other side. I think it is helping me a lot, and I can manage more clients, do more phone calls while somebody else is doing more paperwork. But thank you for everything for today.
100%. That's a great tip. So two things you said that were very cool. Number one, that you mentioned transferring that energy. Right? And you guys all heard that sales is just the transfer of energy.
Yeah.
Right? The transfer of passion. So if you're able to transfer that passion to somebody, you could, inspire them to action a little bit easier. And second thing that Angelica said was getting that help, that assistant. Right? I can't do half, I can't do a third of the things that I'm supposed to do without, Francis and Leica and Jennifer all kind of pushing together. All right? So when you're ready for that, let's go. Anything else, guys?
Yes, Vincent, being a new one here at EXP and wanted to bring other people aboard. I wouldn't say the word recruiting. I really don't like the word recruiting, because when you use that word, it's like, oh, she just wants to recruit me so she could get a fee. So, but I see the potential, and I see I really like EXP. And thank you again for all your explanation at the beginning before I was going to sign in. So my question to you is, I have like 3 people that I want to talk to them about EXP. What would be the best way for me to introduce them? Because it's amazing for me. Okay, I have my own words to say it, but what could be more beneficial for me to say it so they could feel more attractive to come to EXP and come to Tuesday and see one of the Zoom meeting with you?
Your words are the most powerful thing that you have. Okay? Your experience and the story that you tell around it is the most powerful thing that you have. Right? So if you guys have a good experience and you guys have a good feeling, think about it. You go out to a good restaurant. Right? You go out to a good restaurant. How do you tell somebody else about that? It's the same thing.
Okay, got
No,
you.
what do they say? Oh my gosh, you're trying to recruit me to go to that restaurant? No. They say, oh my gosh, thanks for telling me. Thanks for sharing that.
Got you.
Right? So, hey, I just got to share my experience. I just got to tell you a little bit about, I feel like I've gotten so much in a short period of time. And I just think it's amazing. I'd love for you to check it out. Would you check it out? Right? That Tuesday is something that you can invite to, but you could also send to the website, right?
Okay.
What's the website, guys?
Let's see. Um, EXP Explain. It's not your website, but I know EXP Explain.
Oh, yeah. You guys have to have something available to share,
Yeah.
whatever it is. I have something set up that you could use. It's onebigfireglobal.com. I pay $20 a month for it. You could have it created for yourself. The only thing that would look different is your name and your phone number. But who cares? Just send out mine. onebigfireglobal.com. Save it on your phone. Bookmark it. When somebody asks you, just share it with them. Right? 23 people in the last 30 days, guys. Right? That's momentum. How do we keep that up? How do we double that? Give your people that website. And say, hey, use it. Give your family that website. And say, this is the company that I'm with. So have those conversations, Anna, and try to set them up after they watch that with a call with me. Okay?
Okay. Gotcha.
So a three-way Zoom call is the next step to that. All right? Are we good, guys? Did we get enough today?
Yes. Thank you.
All right, let's put some of this stuff into action and let us know how it works. So when you come back next time, just say, hey, I started making calls standing up. And it did this for me, and I tripped, or whatever, I smiled more. And here's what happened. All right, I hope it was helpful.